You ever get that feeling that the world we're told about isn't, well, the whole story? Today, we're going to navigate a fascinating map of hidden knowledge known as the Suppressed Realities Iceberg. It's basically a framework that takes us from the slightly weird all the way down to the truly reality-shattering. So let's get started. And really, this question is the key to this whole thing. The source material we're digging into today suggests that right below the surface of our normal, everyday lives, there's a whole other world, one filled with buried history, forgotten technologies, and possibilities that could literally change everything we think we know. So, you might be wondering, how do you even navigate an ocean of ideas this strange? Well, this iceberg is our map. It gives a structure to this massive collection of fringe ideas, starting with the stuff you might have heard of at the top, and then we go deeper, layer by layer, into the really profound, unknown stuff. All right, let's start at the top. This first layer is where we find theories you've probably heard about before, ideas that tend to bubble up from the fringe, and sometimes even poke into mainstream conversations. We're starting right here, at the very peak of the iceberg, the part that everyone can see sticking out of the water. Think of this as our entry point, filled with theories that are pretty widely known, even if they aren't, widely believed. So what kind of ideas are we talking about here at the surface? Well, this is where you find theories about shadowy government programs. For example, MK Ultra, right? The infamous CIA mind control experiments. Or HARP, that big facility in Alaska that some people are convinced can control the weather. These are the classics, the well-known conspiracies that make up the very tip of our iceberg. Okay, now let's slip just below the surface of the water. I mean, if governments can keep secrets in the present, what about the past? This next layer is all about narratives that don't just challenge what's happening now, but they challenge the official story of human history itself. And just like that, we're underwater. Down here, things get a little murkier. The source material starts asking a really radical question. What if the history you learned in school is not just incomplete, but what if it's been deliberately rewritten? A really central idea in this layer is something called cyclical history. It suggests that humanity isn't on some straight line of constant progress. Instead, we might be stuck in a massive loop, a cycle of rising to incredible heights only to get knocked all the way back down, and then being forced to forget it ever happened. So how does this cycle supposedly work? Well, it begins with an advanced civilization at its absolute peak. Then a global cataclysm hits, something that wipes the slate clean. And then comes the crucial step. The source suggests that a powerful elite deliberately erases all knowledge of the past, forcing humanity to start all over again from scratch. As we go even deeper, we start to find what are claimed to be the remnants of these lost cycles. This layer is all about more tangible mysteries, creatures that shouldn't exist, and technologies that seem to have been completely forgotten, or maybe suppressed. Okay, we're now in the murky middle depths of the iceberg, and this is where the theories start to feel a lot more physical. We're not just talking about rewriting history books anymore, we're talking about actual physical evidence, things like creatures and machines that are said to exist right now, just hidden out of sight. This layer really has two different sides to it. On one hand, you've got cryptids. We're talking reports of beings like Bigfoot, or even supposed survivors from prehistoric times. And on the other hand, you have suppressed technologies. Revolutionary inventions like free energy devices that, the theory goes, are being intentionally kept from all of us. All right, let's take a deep breath. We are about to plunge into the darkest, most profound depths of this thing, where the theories stop challenging history and start to question the very nature of reality itself. We've reached the bottom. Down here in the crushing darkness, we find what the source calls the deep metaphysical anomalies. The theories here don't just ask what happened or what's being hidden. They ask, what is this place? They question the very fabric of our existence. A huge theory at this depth is the holographic simulation. The proposal is that this reality, everything you see, everything you touch, everything you feel, it isn't the real base reality. Not at all. Instead, we might be living inside an unbelievably advanced, computer-generated simulation. And if you want to take that simulation idea a step further, well then, you get the prison planet theory. This concept suggests that our world isn't just a simulation, it's a simulation with a purpose. It's a control system, maybe a kind of cosmic farm or prison, designed to trap our consciousness, harvest our spiritual energy, and deliberately keep us from our true potential. Okay, wow, after a dive that deep, let's come back up to the surface for a minute and look at the big picture. Why put all of this together? What's the point of organizing all of these wild theories into one giant framework? This quote from the source material really just says it all. The purpose of this iceberg isn't to prove any single theory is true. It's meant to be a comprehensive archive of stories, a kind of library of all the narratives that push back against the official accounts we get from science, religion, and the powers that be. And this is the real key takeaway. It's not about MK Ultra or the prison planet theory in isolation. It's that from the very tip to the deepest depths, each of these pieces connects to form a single, massive alternative narrative. When you put them all together, they tell a very different story of humanity, power, and reality itself. So in the end, we're left with one final and I think crucial question. It doesn't matter if you think these theories are just fiction or if you think they're glimpses of a hidden truth. The real question is, why do they stick around? What is it inside us that needs these other explanations, this search for meaning and wonder? Maybe that's the real mystery at the bottom of the iceberg.